Alright, quick update on JASMY. So I will try and keep this video fairly quick, mainly because nothing has changed in the mid to macro term. Now, in the last video I made, I outlined the possibility of this and this kind of vicinity potentially being a local top, and we have had a very nice pump today. So far we are up 30% for JASMY, but all in all nothing has changed. When I was making videos for JASMY all the way around here, I said this coin does move very euphorically. It would not surprise me if it came all the way back up to the orange box and had a rejection, simply because if we do flatten the data, look at the macro term just for a second, we have topped out, we put in these all-time highs, and then we have bottomed and had rallies well over a 2x. Over here we had a rally of something like, let me make sure I'm getting that on the right wick, of 96%. I believe that's the right one. Let me just move this. Yeah, 96% on this wick here. I won't go through every single one, but just to outline what has happened so far. If we do take it from the bottom here, we have, we're up 67%, which is a nice amount, but do bear in mind, obviously, if we do zoom out to the daily, we were like 99.6% down from the all-time high. We are now down 99.5%, so really nothing has changed at all. We are still very much falling off the table in the macro term. A pump of like 60% or so when you're down 99% is not really anything to get out of bed for, in my opinion. Like I said, I mean, the price action today was somewhat impressive. If we do kind of look at the market structure right now, we could potentially be seeing a bottom play out in the form of this W pattern. So if we come over to the 4 hour, I think it would highlight it a lot better. You can see this really nice not head and shoulders, this really nice W pattern playing out with the neckline right here on this purple line here. So far we have, we ran into this, there's a lot of selling volume coming in, and from what I can see, the RSI and the money flow indicator are both extremely overbought on the 4 hourly, they're extremely overbought on the 1 hourly, and also just look at this selling volume. Previously, whenever we have had this amount of selling volume, we do normally at least dump. I mean, here we completely fell off the table. Here, to be honest, we fell down a little bit and then had a big pump. Going back previously, I won't find all of the examples, but in my opinion, it's not too nice to be this overextended on the hourly and the 4 hourly. JASMY does normally move very euphorically though, and it is very 50-50 because the money flow indicator and the RSI both have a decent amount to run up on the daily. So like I said, the price action on the day is very nice. We could potentially be forming this W pattern that we would need to close above 1.7 cents to break out of. But like I said, personally, I'm not getting out of bed for this. I'm not accumulating until we do break this orange line up here, because that would at least mean in the short term that not the long term, not the macro term, because nothing's changed in the macro term whatsoever. I mean, even in the mid macro term, if I draw from this high, you can see we're nowhere near the 236, and that's being conservative. I'm not drawing it from all the way up here. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt and looking at the local top over there. But if I get this down, you can see, I mean, we could even pump hypothetically all the way up to 8 cent, and macro to midterm we would still very much be in a downtrend. So I'm not a fan of JASMY in the long term, but in the short term, like I say, I wouldn't be adverse to trading if we did break out of this W pattern. That would bring us just above this neckline, or not this neckline, this previous horizontal ray, which highlights this previous local top over here. So I think if we did manage to break above there, there would be a very nice chance of us at least bottoming in the short term. So for me to start accumulating JASMY, we would need to see another 39% pump incoming. Like I reminded you, I mean, if this is the local top, you can look back at the data. We do normally have these massive parabolic rallies. In this instance, it was a 90% pump. In this, it was like 115%. So all in all, I'm not getting out of bed at all until we do break this orange line. If we do break it, I will be buying in the short term, and I think whether we're able to break out above this orange line all depends on what's going to be happening with Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin right now has been rejected from this 39 to 40,000 region many times. It has had a slight 2% pump today, and a lot of altcoins are going, you know, somewhat euphoric. A lot of them are pumping. A lot of them are dead cat bounces, in my opinion. Whether that is the same for JASMY, that is yet to be seen. But you know, like I said, market structure is extremely bearish in the mid to long term. I would be happy to buy JASMY once we do break out of the 2-3 cent region for a short-term trade, but until we do break out of the 2-3 cent, I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and accumulate, because you know, people have been saying buy the dip since we were like, what was it, like a dollar or something ridiculous. If we flatten the data, $3. I mean, people have been calling to buy the dip since, you know, the first bottom down here at $1. You know, people have been telling me to buy the dip over there at 14 cent. People told me to buy the dip down here at, you know, almost 3 cent. People were telling me to buy the dip down here at 1.4, and you know, we've only just started breaking above these lows here. So like I said, I'm not getting out of bed until we do break the orange line. Once we do break the orange line, I would be very happy to enter a short-term trade, but until we do break there, nothing has changed at all in the macro and the midterm structure. So once again, short-term does look fairly nice. We do have this nice W pattern. We are starting to see a little bit of green volume coming in. The hourly, not so much. We have seen a wham red candle, but this could just be a back test of here. We could be, you know, getting ready to go off to the races. But I think best case scenario for JASMY, we need to go sideways for at least a couple of hours, something like this. And then, you know, I think the RSI and the money flow indicator could at least reset in the short term, and we could have a possible chance of breaking above this orange line. So yeah, I'm still waiting. Once we break 2-3, I will be longing, at least for a short-term trade. So that is all I see for JASMY. Nothing has changed in the mid to macro term. If you are holding this, best of luck, and once again, none of this is financial advice. Cowboy out. Peace.